How to with Natty Lou.
Hello, and welcome to a very unusual episode of How To with Natty Lou. Today I'm not going to show you something that I'm making, but something that I'm helping nature to make. I want to show you how I pollinate my zucchini plants to ensure that I get zucchinis from them. Any kind of squash plant has a very distinctive male and female flower, and you kind of have to get those flowers together in order for them to be fertilized and create fruit. So, this works for any kind of squash plant, pumpkins, butternut, whatever kind of squash you're doing, but I will show you how I pollinate my zucchini plants. So here is one of my zucchini plants. Nice and happy and healthy. I want to show you the difference between the types of zucchini flowers. So here is a male flower. See how it just has one little thingy sticking out of the middle of it like that. And here is a female flower. It has a whole circle of little stamens in there. Okay? And even if the flower is not open, you can tell the difference because the male flower has just a stem behind it, and the female flower has a little baby zucchini growing behind it. Okay? So, like this flower coming up back here, you can tell will be a female even before it's open because it's got a baby zucchini behind it. Alright? So, what you need to do, well, in nature, what you'd want to happen is that a bee or butterfly or whatever would come get some of the pollen that's on the male's little thingy there. There's a bunch of pollen down at the bottom of the flower, you can see. They'd get some of that on their little feeties, maybe even one of these little fruit fly things would help. And then they'd bring it over here to the female flower and put that pollen in the center of the female. But since we want to ensure that this one will be pollinated and then grow, we're going to help nature out and do that ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to kind of open up this flower. I have a tortoise who would love to eat these petals, so she'll get those. Just so I can get to this pollen right here. Okay, I'm going to pop off this flower. Bring over the male little thing and avert your eyes if you don't want to see squash porn. And apply the pollen from the male flower to the female flower. Just get a nice coating there. So now, we are pollinated, and this fruit will start to grow. If it were not pollinated, this would just kind of turn yellow and eventually fall off. So hopefully that will take, and maybe I'll show you a video once it's grown. Yay! Here it is. This is just 5 days after my initial fertilization. So as you can see, it got bigger. I'll probably cut it off today or tomorrow or the next day. You don't want to let zucchinis get too big or else they get bitter tasting or hard or something like that. Apparently they don't taste as good. So even though they can get really big, you want to cut them off before they get too big. Plus it stresses out your plant if it's trying to support something that large. Here is that other one that I fertilized. Still a little too early to tell if it's going to take. We'll see in the next day or two if it'll work. But I've got a bunch of females on this plant, which I couldn't pollinate all of them because I didn't have enough male flowers on my other plants. So we'll see which ones go, if any, other than this one. But anyway, once I cut that one off, should be able to support more and help those grow faster. Cool. Alright, I'm going to call it. This is the day after the last video and 6 days after the initial fertilization of the zucchini. And I'm going to cut it off now because that's a good sized zucchini. This other one back here may take, but I'm going to give it more of a chance by cutting off this big guy so that the plant doesn't focus on it too anymore. I hope you've enjoyed this gardening episode of How To with Natty Lou. Here is the zucchini that we helped produce together. Again, this technique will work for any squash plant that you have. You just gotta identify the boys and the girls and make sure that they get together, and then you'll have baby little squashes that grow into big squashes. Have a nice day and enjoy your tasty squash.